Hello again and thanks for joining. So today we've got this unusual model to have a look at. It's from Liliput and obviously it's a track maintenance vehicle. I'm not sure what the part number is of this model. It doesn't have it on the box. The little sticker has come off at some point in the past. It is another second-hand purchase and it does look as though it's been around a little while. It comes in the usual plastic box. It's very good for protecting the model inside, and this one's not too bad at all. It's got a little bit of sticker damage up here, possibly from a price tag, and you can see here where it did have the number on it, but it seems to have disappeared at some point in the past. Anyway, let's get this out of the packaging and we'll have a closer look at what we've got here. So this is quite a characterful model to add to your collection, that's for sure. Let's have a closer look at it now that we've got it out the box. At this end of the machine, it's got a glazed cab. The glazing is all flush fit, which is really nice. And it's got this representation of lights at the front here. These are just painted on silver dots, and it has these red parts here. They're not illuminated or anything. There's no pickup on this model. It's got these black wasp-like chevrons down the bottom, and these buffers that have been added in. They're extra parts that have been moulded in black plastic. Underneath we've got this little bar coming down, which is very delicate and it could easily break off, and you can see the coupling there, which is attached to the bogie. There's no name pockets on this one here. I'll have a look underneath in a moment. As we start to look down the side of this model, you've got a transfer here with some letters and numbers on it, and the glazing as well around this door, and this part up here is very nice. It has this piece moulded into the plastic to look as though it is a sliding window or something like that, and there's another window here just at the back of the front part of the cab here. Then we come to the main part of the machine. This part here has some little black extras added on. One of them's broken off on this one here, so obviously they're very delicate, but there's a lot of detail here and it's been really nicely moulded. And I really like this pipe work going up here as well, which is an extra part that's been added on in black as well. You've got more of the machine here. Again, really nice moulding, lots of detail, and these extra little black pieces added in at the bottom here as well. There's a ladder going up here, and then we come to this part here, which looks as though it has some vents moulded into it. That's not very convincing. It is actually letting it down compared to the rest of the moulding, I think. You can see parts like here and here where the model is being held together, little tabs have come through. That's a bit of a shame that they've had to do that. I'm sure they could have managed to get this model together a bit easier than that. It spoils the model a little bit, and maybe it could just be touched up with some yellow paint, and that would help a little bit there. You've got some more steps coming down here, and a little platform there with a checker plate in grey, and you can see another tank that's been added in underneath there in yellow plastic. And then you've got another smaller cab at this end, again with a glazing that's been flush fit. Some handrails here moulded in. Not very convincing, I must say. The relief on that could have been a little bit better, but it's not too bad overall. And then some more steps down and another piece of underframe here, again in very delicate yellow plastic, which runs all the way underneath the coupling here as well. At this end of the machine, it's very similar to the first end. You get a windscreen wiper moulded into the plastic of the windscreen. You get this little light at the top, the same as the other end, and the same arrangement of lights here as well. And this transfer and the wasp stripes and the buffers as well. So just having a look underneath, the bogies are held on with these metal studs here, which is quite secure. There's a little bit of detail in the side moulding of the bogies, but I'm guessing it's probably prototypical that there isn't actually much there. But what is there has been moulded pretty well. And you've got the wheels there in metal. They're fairly free running, but not super good. You've got this part here moulded into the bottom, which I think is probably some transmission details which have been included. And you can see here the Liliput made in Austria. Inside here there is a metal weight which is helping keep this model securely to the track, but it does move around a little bit. You can see it's slid out there as well. So it has been glued in the past, but that glue is obviously dried up and now this slides around. It's not going to fall out, it just slides back and forward in there. So you can easily just slide it back in. As we move further down, you can see some detail here of the machinery, and that's really quite nicely added in. And another set of these bogies, this time with a shorter length to the coupling. Looking on top of this machine, it's an additional colour of plastic that's been added in here, a very plain roof, and it's got the headlight at each end. This area here looks very pleasing because it's got an additional part for the exhaust pipes and some piping which has been added in. There's also a set of horns here, and I'm not sure what's happened here. Possibly there's been something else that's meant to be fitted there, but it seems to have been broken off or something. But there's a nice selection of detail and hatches. Another one here with some nice rivet detail. And this one here, which I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's moulded in there anyway. And then at this cab, it also has a very plain roof as well. So overall, a very interesting model. Let's see how much this weighs. So this model weighs 78 grams. So overall, this track maintenance machine from Liliput is quite an interesting model to add to your collection. It doesn't have any power to it, it'll need a suitable locomotive to either push or pull it around, and the machinery on this model doesn't move or anything, so it's not animated, but it is quite unusual and very eye-catching and something a bit different than the normal that you would get for your model railway layout. Liliput have executed this not too bad at all. It's got some really nice features like the pipework going down to the machinery, and I like the extra added on parts of the exhaust pipes, and the flush fit glazing is really good as well. The only downsides to this model, I think, is that it's a bit plasticky. Some of the parts could break off quite easily if you're not careful with this model, but because it's so quirky, it does offer something quite interesting to add to your model railway. It would definitely benefit from some weathering, and I think as well if you added some people into here, a couple of engineers, perhaps inside the cab, or even on that checker plate at the back there, it would really make this look quite an interesting piece to have. I'm not sure which railway this comes from. I think it's probably German, but I might be wrong in that. If you know better, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. So would I recommend this model to you? I think it probably could be picked up quite cheaply because it doesn't have a motor or any animation parts on it, and it doesn't pick up from the track. So in effect, it's just a wagon. So it should be fairly cheap to get, and it looks really interesting, and it's something very different than the normal rolling stock that you would have. So I really would recommend it if you can find it. Let me know what you thought about my analysis of this model in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya!